this is Jorge Rivera with FirstCoast.tv. I find myself with
Brett Simon.
Okay, and Mr. Simon here is the
president of Canines for Warriors.
All right, and how long has this facility been here in Ponte Vedra?
We've been in Ponte Vedra for almost 5 years, a little over 5 years now. We've been in other facilities though prior to coming to this one. We've been here almost 2 full years now in Nocatee.
All right, and what brought this program to its birth?
My mother, Sherry Duval, founded the program when I returned from Iraq in 2005. I was diagnosed with PTSD. I worked as a civilian contractor for the Department of Army, and she saw a need for that. Prior to that, I was a police officer and I was a canine handler, so training dogs was something I was already into and enjoyed doing, and competing dogs. So putting the fit together of serve a dog for a veteran was something that she wanted to do. So from 2005 till a few years, she kicked the idea around, tried to find out the viability, if it's viable for us, and at the same time if I was able to do it. So we worked really hard at it, and I had a job here in Jacksonville, and we all got laid off one day. So a friend of mine who did the original contract put a job posting up for another tour in Iraq as a civilian contractor, and I took that, and going into 2010 I came back. So once we got back in 2010, we had everything set to go. We had our IRS stuff done. We had a location that we identified that we wanted to purchase, and we had the program. I went ahead and built the program to last 21 days and had all the training stuff written out, and so we had a plan, a model, and everything, and then we just needed to open it up and fund it.
All right, so these dogs go to veterans?
Yes.
Okay.
Veterans all post 9/11.
Okay.
That suffer PTSD, traumatic brain injury, military sexual trauma, or mobility, or all of them put together.
Right, right. And where does your supply of dogs come from?
Most of our dogs are from rescues and shelters, owner surrenders to people that can no longer care for their animal, whether they're moving, or we've had a couple dogs from veterans, current active duty members that are deploying, and they're going to be gone for a year to 18 months. They've contacted us. One of them just graduated last class, and some of the guys from the naval base came over to see it.
Right.
They got deployed, and they weren't going to be able to work with their dog, and it was a young puppy, so they donated it to us.
Oh,
we
wow.
finished raising it up, and then they got to see him graduate last class.
Wow. Yes, I read stories where a lot of soldiers in battle become very close to these animals,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had, I don't know if this is still the issue, but they had problems trying to bring this dog to the States with them.
There's a lot of issues due to health concerns
Right.
and different diseases that are in the Middle East that we don't have here, and you don't want to bring it in.
Right.
Like trying to get a dog into Australia can take up to 6 months.
Wow.
Because it just takes a lot of time and a lot of effort.
All right. Now, is there a certain breed of dog that you look for? I mean, would a Chihuahua count here?
No, there are smaller dogs that do things for diabetes and things of that, people that are not as mobile, that can't get a big dog like my dog Reagan out and exercised. So, they're taught for seizure, epilepsy, diabetes, things of that nature. So there can be a use for a smaller dog, but our program, we do mobility training, so a dog needs to be a certain size and weight. We look to be 22 to 24 inches tall and over 50 pounds.
All right.
As far as the breed, since we use shelter dogs, there's a big mix that comes through. So it can be just about any type of breed we have.
Okay.
We try to look at what's going to be the best fit for the warrior as we're evaluating them. So there are criteria. They have to be under 2 years old. We already went over size and weight. And then we do a temperament test. They have to be able to pass being out in public, loud sounds, other dogs, things of that nature, and look at their temperament to where they're going to be going and the job that they're going to be doing.
Okay, so my other question is, do you supply these dogs to veterans with PTS nationally?
Yes.
Okay.
Our program is only located here in Ponte Vedra, but our applicants are from all over.
Wow.
We just graduated our second gentleman that lives in Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay.
We have a guy from Hawaii coming in.
Yeah.
One of our female graduates from last year, her husband was still deployed in Germany, so the dog went back with her after she graduated to Germany.
Oh, wow.
And then we go coast to coast.
Oh, wow.
We do have an 18-month waiting list, so it takes a while for the veterans to get in.
Right.
And we're working on that now to shorten that, but again, nationwide for us.
This is such a beautiful program at so many levels.
It is. It's
Question
rewarding
going.
on everything from the
Yeah.
dogs to the veterans to our staff.
It's a
You know,
win-win for everybody.
it's a passion you have to have. It's like everybody always says, you know, it's not a job if you love it. And I think most of the staff, if you talk to them, would say that, you know, this is a passion of theirs.
Right.
And they do it because they love the dogs, they love the veterans.
Right, and a lot of people don't realize that though a dog helps a veteran with PTSD, but it also affects his family.
Correct.
They have wives, they have children, you know, and if all that brings in a great energy, a positive energy, I mean, it's a win-win for so many people.
It does. You see, we've got success stories on our website that you can view, but
I read
just
some of them.
just going over some of the stuff, you know, isolation is one of the biggest things, not going to places with the family and things of that nature. So some of our graduates, once they've gotten back home, we've received letters from wives and husbands of the veterans saying thank you for giving us our family back. They're taking trips to Disney World, getting out to the kids' soccer or football or basketball games. One of them became a coach. He had never seen his daughter play soccer, and you know, after the dog a few months getting into it, he was coaching the soccer team.
Wow.
So we're giving back not only to the veteran and rescuing a dog, but like you said, to the family, because we're bringing them back together.
Right, because even though he's there, he's practically dead. He's not active.
And it's hard for the children to understand. You know, the spouses can kind of grasp it, but it's really hard for the children to understand why mom or dad isn't going out with them. And you know, you can only say they're having a bad day so many times, or you know, before they figure out that there is something. So this reunites everybody together.
All right. I thank you very much for this interview.
No problem.
Is there a chance you'd give us a little tour of what you can show us?
Absolutely.
All right.
We can do that.
Well, let's do it then.
Sounds great. When the Warriors come, this is one of the first things that they get to see. This is their clubhouse, or day room, if you want to call it that. Couches for them to sit on. We have dueling TVs, an Xbox, a PlayStation, and a Wii, just in case somebody, you know, wants to play some games. Some of the other stuff that we like them to do is our weight room. So the dogs can get used to people that are wanting to work out or do work out. They get to hear the noise, the machines going. Not all of the graduate or veterans that come participate in this, but a lot of them do come in here and use it. So we have the dog beds, and they can lay down by the treadmill. Again, it's just getting the dog acclimated to what their day-to-day routine when they get home is going to be. So somebody that works out every day, they're taking their dog to the gym back home in New York or Kansas or wherever it is, the dog is going to be comfortable in that area because they've seen it before and we've trained it. The rhythm's pretty good. We do a class every month, so we have a week off in between. That's usually our busiest time because we've got to get the rooms back ready. We've got to get the dogs ready, get all the equipment. So for the 21 days, the rhythm is pretty good. We have a structured routine for them. All of our veterans are used to a routine as far as, you know, time to be ready, time to eat, all those things, because they were told in the military when to do it. So we have a set time that we leave. We have a set time we go to lunch, so we keep that structure and build it into them. Dogs also learn a lot through repetition.
How many dogs do you have in the kennel?
Right now we have 47.
Wow.
We have the ability to hold up to 60.
Wow.
As we're ramping up, our goal this year is by August to start supplying 12 Warriors a month with dogs. So we will have 12 different veterans in here and dogs going through the program. Again, our focus is to bond the dog to the handler, so playing one-on-one like that with one of a favorite toy. Too, the dogs are rehabilitated while they're here as well, just to get finally somebody taking care of them. They get their meals, they get their kennels cleaned, they get groomed, veterinary care. So again, we're teaching them as well to start trusting in people again, just like we're asking our veterans to trust our program that it'll work for them. So it's like you keep saying inside, it's a win-win on both sides of the coin for us. When we were designing the building and the kennels, that we're able to put our logo on each door. So it's worked out pretty nice. It's not your typical kennel that you see the chain link and everything. So this is monitored all the time. We have somebody that lives on campus too in case there's a problem. But all the dogs have the ability to be in here, a bed, food bowl, and then we can let them out if we need to. Yeah. Separate AC system for just the dogs. And then our mobile veterinarian is here. She comes once a week to look at our dogs, make sure they're healthy.